off with it. The police officers chased after the car thief, but they were on the chase and had to report the bad news to Alvarez de Tejeda and his girlfriend. Pretty unlucky day for them, huh? What Alvarez de Tejeda didn't know at the time was that this entire incident was staged. During this period, the DEA had been investigating a drug conspiracy. They were able to identify one of the conspiracy subordinates, Alvarez de Tejeda, along with finding out that he was transporting drugs using the leader's car. They of course wanted to search the vehicle, but there were some practical issues in place. If they did a traditional traffic stop, this increases hiding evidence. As a solution, the police planned and staged the entire incident that I just described to you. Every single person involved in that incident were either a DEA agent or a police officer. This includes the car that brake checked them, the truck driver who rear-ended them and got arrested, and the thief who stole the car. The only people who weren't law enforcement were Alvarez de Tejeda and his girlfriend, of course. This is a true story, and the reason I told you this is to demonstrate that police conspiracies do exist. Even though situations like this seem like the kind of thing that only happens in movies, it's very real. That said, it doesn't happen all that often. I've made at least one video before where I briefly discussed the gang stalking phenomenon, where people will post videos documenting their experiences with what they believe to be gang stalking by the government and police. In nearly all cases of this, the person is typically suffering from something like paranoid schizophrenia. One of the more recent instances of this occurring is from the channel John Law.
Simi Valley Police Department, I need you to come to the front door of your house.
This police body cam footage, taken in October of 2022, marks the start of what would soon become the public breakdown of a man sharing his extreme, outlandish delusions with the world while trying to get by. Have you ever watched an ARG before and thought, man, wouldn't it be cool if there were an ARG that was actually real? Well, this is basically the closest thing to that. The reason the police are here is because they suspect John Law, real name David, of being involved in drug distribution.
David, it's the Simi Valley Police Department. Come to the front door. David, Simi Valley Police Department. We have a search warrant. Come to the door. It's the Simi Valley Police Department. Come to the front door now. We have a search warrant.
They stand outside of his home yelling for like 3 minutes. They ended up having to threaten to kick down the door to make David open it.
David, we're gonna kick in the front door. If you don't come to the door, we don't want to hurt anybody.
David, answer the door.
Put your hands on your head.
Yeah.
Walk out the front door. Walk out the front door. Walk out the front door. Walk out to that flashlight.
Anybody else inside this house, make yourself known. It's the police department.
Where?
Make yourself known.
I'm right here.
Come out with your hands up. Keep coming back. Come back. Come back. Come back. Follow me.
This woman is due as Fluz, but I'm nearly certain that is not her real name.
Anything on you that's gonna hurt me?
No, I don't
Nothing?
think so.
Police department, if you're in here, make yourself known. Long hallway straight across.
Oh, short.
Where? Alright, closed door here. Closet.
Money and drugs right here on the floor.
Note that David writes on screen that there were no drugs here, despite the cop saying this. I really can't tell either way from what we have in view of the body cam. They continue searching the house and become increasingly frustrated when they aren't able to find much.
Alright, they opened up the safe. Obviously they had time. Yeah. Sorry, Matt.
I don't care, man. Let's clear these doors.
Eventually, they move their something more incriminating. And, well, just have a look.
Simi Valley PD, if you're in here, make yourself known. Simi Valley PD, if you're in here, make yourself known.
And according to
Very last what? Can you get rid of all of it? Drop some. Well, you got that. That's plenty.
It sounds like the police are saying they found something, but David they found was just drywall. Once again, the camera angle we have here is super limited, so I can't really tell. I tried submitting a FOIA request to this police department to get the full body cam footage from other angles, but they wouldn't give it to me, and I'm assuming it's because the case is still ongoing. The room seems pretty empty. The police do some more searching in the basement, but come up with nothing else. At the end of the footage, David expresses the belief that the officer turned off his body cam right here. On paper, the officers claim to have found 16 to 19 grams of fentanyl, which resulted in David being arrested and charged with drug distribution. The legal case is actually still ongoing to this day, which is why I'm going to try and avoid directly giving David is guilty. That isn't really what this is about, and we have to keep in mind that David is presumed innocent until proven guilty. Shortly after David's arrest, he was released on bail until his court date. This was when he created his YouTube channel, John Law. Currently, David is homeless, and on this channel, he documents his current situation as he wanders the streets of California with his girlfriend and his dog. But the thing is, David isn't just documenting an unfortunate situation for posterity's sake. No, not at all. David is out to accept the reality that he's proposing sounds dubious, to say the least. If you ask David what is going on, he will likely tell you that
I'm currently under investigation by the DEA, LAPD, and the Ventura County Sheriff's Department. He's trying to set me up multiple times by planting evidence. I'll show you what it's like to be harassed by a bunch of dirty cops 24/7.
These strange beliefs include him believing that planes in the sky are drones not to spy on him, and secretly recording police that he thinks have been sent out to stalk him. The most prevalent delusion of his, however, is that nearly every homeless person he meets is actually an undercover cop that was sent to harass him. In order to give you an example of exactly what these delusions look like, I think it's best to just show you.
So some creepy narcs left a little package for us.
This is one of the first videos that David uploaded to his channel. The video takes place at night on a bridge frequented by many homeless people in the area. Phones up there, they come across a foil, burnt straws, a computer chip. It's trash. It's just trash, guys. But to David, this is something much more. This is actually a box of evidence. If you're confused about how this box serves as incriminating evidence, it's because it doesn't. And this here is one of our first quote-unquote narcs. This, in David's mind, of course, means that this guy must be part of the setup, and he is trying to make them take the box so the police can swoop in and comes across the same guy again a couple weeks later, and has a very charged interaction with him.
Do your job. You too, asshole. I remember you. What? Bro, I remember you. You were the one passing me that planted, fabricated bullshit evidence in the Universal City subway station elevator, weren't you? You're gonna be a YouTube star, motherfucker. Oh.
This guy's clearly confused, but in fact, he continues to throw even more wild accusations his way.
Is it your that you put on my laptop, man? Yeah, bro, did you put your... Come on, Mr. Officer, you know.
It's cool. See you on YouTube.
What we're dealing with here. I think at this point you have a pretty good idea of what we're dealing with here. What is unique about David's channel compared to the other targeted individuals I've covered on this channel in the past is that David people who are at the very least on the fence about believing the reality that he is portraying. I think the reason for this is because the other targeted individuals I've covered, who likely have schizophrenia, typically couldn't even go more than a couple sentences without making it noticeable that something was off with them. Something about their speech pattern which is so jumbled and irregular. With David, it's a bit different though. Although he exhibits behavior that could be indicative of paranoid schizophrenia, which is just my opinion by the way, not a medical diagnosis, it doesn't really affect his mannerisms in a way that is immediately noticeable. You'd have to talk to him for a few moments before you realized. If you ignore what he is saying and just listen to his speech, it's usually very normal.
I finally got the body cam video from the night of my arrest back in October 2022, and it is insane. It shows that the police never found anything illegal in my home at all, and it proves that Detective Matthew Gage of the Simi Valley Police Department committed perjury multiple times.